Lots and lots of humor. You know, we have he's a really fit man, works hard, brings lots of energy, but to the whole operation, it's in practice, it's in games, it's in the meal room, on the bus, on the plane. He's got lots to say, funny, enjoys life, loves the game, loves his teammates, I think, and that comes out. So great energy. I'm really happy he was able to get his ring, and it was the players around him to kind of present it to him. So good for him, well earned.
In like a long season, how important, Paul, are those guys just to keep spirits up and keep energy during that 6-7 month stretch?
They're really good at offsetting coaches. Because you're an ass most days, and then you get a guy that knows how to do it right. There's certain days that even if you're an energy guy, you got to be a little careful with how smiley you are. But you need those guys to make it fun. In your room at any one time, you got 2 or 3 guys probably struggling a little bit. Even when the team's rolling. Now, nobody notices and nobody's going to complain, but it's a long grind. So those guys that bring the energy on those days where you're a little flat or you're struggling a little bit, wiring them up before the game, they're critical to your room. It's a big part of how much the guys like playing in a city, is how much fun they have. The idea of going to the rink, if it's fun, if they're looking forward to seeing their teammates, then they'll hang with each other longer and they'll compete for each other harder because of all the binds they have between them, and he's one of those guys.
Would he, like those guys you're talking about, not just Lomberg, would he be one of them? Are they good at picking out the guys who are struggling? Like, are they good at knowing who they have to go maybe build up a little?
The leaders are, for sure, and what you find then, some of those energy guys, even the fourth line role, they can approach a young player or another guy, let's say in the bottom 6, differently than when Barkov puts your arm around you and says it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, but you're never going to be Barkov, right? He's going to be okay. So having a guy that's been in the trenches, that's been healthy scratched, that's gone a long run of games without getting a point, that has that experience, really, really important. Because, you know, they always say, like, the guy's got no confidence, how do you give it to him? Like, nobody knows the answer to that question, or you'd have one bad game a year, right? So there's somebody who's been through it, who knows how tough it is to come to the rink sometimes when things aren't going well. You have to be able to reach across the room and talk to somebody. The Lombergs of the world are connected to everybody in the room, and they can have those conversations.
After the Cup final, you said, I even saw Sam Bennett smile.
I did.
I wonder if you saw him smile after the Four Nation nod.
He did, as a matter of fact. You know, I don't know if I got this exact date right. I'm not picking on anybody, but I think March 21st, 2021, he was healthy scratched. That's not that long ago. Now he's a major part of our identity. He's got a Stanley Cup ring, and he's going to represent his country. So it's also a reminder to all players, you work as hard as he does every single day, and great things can happen for you. He's been so good for us. I do. It's funny you say that, because I remember him coming across the ice, and I won't use all the words that he used, but is this a big enough smile for you? It was what he said to me when we found each other on the ice. So I love that guy. I love the way he plays, and his demeanor, and his quietness, and his intensity. And I'm so happy that he gets to go, because I think it means the world to him.
I was going to say, as a coach, you must love to see that growth from what you said about a scratch to all these accolades. But you've seen it firsthand.
You know what? I didn't listen. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't see it because when Sam was here, there was a point in time that rumors were out. So every coach in the league is watching video, and I think playing center ice really helps him. Really helps his game, and I think he was on the wing toward the end, but it is always a good reminder. But things aren't going well for a player, you got to be careful how hard you judge him, because there's good in all these guys if you can find them the right spot. So he's covered a lot of distance in a short period of time. You know what, and I feel like I'm dumping on this team, and I'm not, because we've all had players, all of us have had a player that went somewhere else and just became a completely different player, and sometimes it's just a change. As a matter of fact, when I did talk to him once earlier about what was the change, he said, well, I came here and I got to play with Huberdeau, and then I got moved into the middle. So sometimes it's just finding the right guy to get your confidence back. It's not a coach, it's not a city, it's another player.
Obviously, both teams looking for a bounce back tonight. How do you want your guys to respond?
Yeah, it's a tough one for me to eat last game. Like we gave up goals off the rush, which we really don't like doing, but there weren't 12 rushes. There were 3 or 4, and 3 of them ended up in the back of the net. I thought we were okay in the game. I thought Van was really, really good. How we'll use last game is our expectation is that Calgary will play a game fairly similar to Vancouver based on what I've read and their experience with Tampa. They're gonna grind this one and put a lot of effort into defending. I think Van did that well against us, so I'd like us to see us have enough short area support that we can grind the puck up the ice, because I don't think we're going coast to coast here tonight. So might be a real physical, fast grinder tonight.
Any lineup changes?
I don't think so yet. I'm not sure though. There might be.
Goaltender.
Spencer's going tonight.
Thanks,
Okay,
Coach.
guys.
Appreciate it.